but I feel like I'm standing in it. Something about the game, I can't just play, I gotta win it. I'll just take the blame, cause I'm the one who probably did it. We should call it preaching, it's too deep to say I spit it. We can talk all day about the things you should but didn't. I'ma run it up and be with numbers not invented yet.
Welcome to Sunday Story Time, brought to you every Monday morning at 10. I'm Tyson Tully, and the reason I started the Uncommon Show is because of the stories that I've accumulated throughout my life and the absolute amazing characters that I've met along the way. And if things keep going the way they're going, I'm definitely going to meet a few more, and this time I'll have a camera and a microphone. Unfortunately, I do not have a guest for you tonight, but I do have a story. It's actually the first chapter in a book called My Summers with Mr. Pancake, written by yours truly. My first summer at Mr. Pancake was when I was 14 years old. It was my first ever job, and it was a job I got mostly because my mother said I had to. I don't know why she felt I really needed a job. I didn't get into a lot of trouble. Maybe she just felt like the kid that was living off of her, eating all of her food, using all of her electricity and heat and hot water, needed to start pitching in some way. And I was okay with it because, well, I needed money. So, sure, I'll go to work, whatever. She was friends with a woman who worked at a restaurant called Mr. Pancake. And she said, well, I can have him fill out a job application. I'll hand it in to the boss. I'm sure they'll hire him. We need some help. So I did just that. And so thus began my journey on my first summer with Mr. Pancake. I got picked up bright and early on the first day. I forget exactly how early, but probably something with a 6 in the front of it. And the ride to Mr. Pancake was not far from my house. It was only about 20 minutes. I had never been to Mr. Pancake before, nor have I ever even heard of it. So I was pretty eager to learn, curious mostly. And the drive was uneventful. I really can't think of anything to it. Again, I was 14 when this happened. So I remember we parked on this road that was just surrounded by trees. There really wasn't much going on, so I don't see the restaurant. I'm thinking, what are we doing? And Stacy then shared with me that because Mr. Pancake didn't have a lot of parking spaces, the employees actually had to park on this hill, or this road that we were parked on the top of a hill, and we had to walk down to the bottom of the hill where the restaurant was. If all the employees used the parking spaces, there would be a lot of missed opportunity and a lot of missed money. So couldn't have that. My curiosity is beginning to spike because I'm now going to a restaurant that doesn't even have enough parking capacity for its employees, and we have to make a hike just to get there. Okay, 14-year-old me, not really noticing anything, not really caring about anything. Figure, all right, whatever. It's early. Let's just get to work. We walked down this hill. We were set for, I think, the 7 a.m. shift. We weren't late. We were on time. We were actually early, in fact. We were very model employees, Stacy and I, at the time. We were in no rush. We're walking down, just chatting. All of a sudden, we hear some footsteps coming up behind us, and two people, a man and a woman, run right past us. They say something to Stacy. I don't remember. They ran past, but what I learned was that was a woman named Paula and her son Marty. So we end up getting to the restaurant, get in there. I meet the owner. Her name was Liz. She seemed like a very nice lady. She was excited to have me, and she was getting me set up with my uniform. And at the time, the uniform for Mr. Pancake was a cotton purple polo. I thought it was hilarious. I thought, I really have to go around wearing a purple polo at work? This is pretty funny. This is pretty embarrassing. This is very interesting. So I go put my polo on. I come back, and I'm told, you will be the busser, and if need be, you help out with the dishes. And I'm also told that a gentleman by the name of Bobby is going to be the one who trains me. Bobby is actually the first gay person I ever worked with, but that is a completely different chapter. After about 10 to 15 minutes of waiting for Bobby to get there, again, I was early. I showed up with a wait staff. Well, all of a sudden, someone gets word. I believe it was Bobby's sister was on the wait staff as well. She gets a text from Bobby saying, "Hey, I'm sick, not going to make it in." So now, the only busser in the building is a 14-year-old kid on his first day who's feeling self-conscious because he's wearing a purple polo. I don't know what that means. This is my first day on the job. I have yet to even clean a table. So I'm not too worried about it. I showed up to do a job. This is the job. Boy, was I busy. If you've ever bussed tables, there's an art to it. There's a skill set that you need to develop. You need to be on alert. You need to have good hands. You need to stack things. You need to make sure that when you're putting it in the waste bin, the busser bin, you need to make sure you're distributing the plates and the cups correctly so that way you can carry it for longer, but also maneuver it well. That's the key. There's an art to it. At the time, it's my first day. I don't know the art. All I know is garbage goes in that bin, forks and spoons go in that bin, plates go in the bigger portion of it, and every fluid you've got that you need to dump out gets dumped in the bin as well. That's all I knew. That's what I was shown. It was a busy day, but I didn't feel busy in a bad way. I felt engaged. I felt the challenge of learning this new skill set, this art form of bussery. So I bought in. I kept doing it. Just got through the day. I was busy from start to finish. When things started to slow down, I started to notice a few things. And if you'll remember, when I was walking down the hill, two people ran past me, Paula and her son Marty. Those are two very important people in the book, My Summers with Mr. Pancake. Because Paula, in a lot of ways, was my first love. My first grown woman love. Some would call that my first MILF. Whatever you call it, that's what she was. And Marty, her son, was without a doubt the funniest person I had met in my life to date. 14-year-old Tyson was simply not ready for the level of inappropriate and outlandish things that Marty would go on to say that summer and the following summers. My first introduction to blowjob stories, to dirty jokes, to words that I had never heard before were because of Mr. Pancake, and largely because of Marty. Was Marty the main influence of it? No. He was simply repeating some of the things he heard from the kitchen. And the kitchen was one of my favorite observations. The kitchen is where I found a home. When I would have to dump the busser bin, it got too full of garbage or fluid, whatever it was, I'd have to go to the kitchen, to the dish pit, and I'd empty my things and I'd get new ones. And that would give me a brief moment to see all of the stoves, all of the grills lined up. There were 3 sets of grills, 1 pancake grill, 1 egg grill in each set, and there was 1 hash brown grill that separated them. But I got to watch, and I got to love. I got to see another art form, cooking breakfast food. It was truly amazing to stand at the end of this line and watch these beautiful golden round pancakes being flipped. So pleasing, just they're flipping and no splatter. Double flip of the pancakes. But the thing that really got me going, the thing that I love to watch be made, were the omelets. You would pour the liquid egg in the shape of the omelet first, just the outside, so that way it would harden up a little bit. You dump the rest in the middle and you use your spatula. You need finesse and touch, skill to level it out, even it out, so you have a perfect rectangle of cooking egg. And then this is where precision and speed come in. You had to get your ingredients in the center. First a little bit of cheese, then whatever ingredients you were putting in, then a little bit more cheese, and then you had to fold it and then flip it. And if you nailed the timing just right, there'd be a little brown on the side that you just flipped over, with a little glaze from the oil of the grill, or the bacon if you were a real ball knower. You'd flip it over and it'd be this beautiful folded omelet. Ideally, you let it sit for a little bit longer. You throw it on top of 2 pancakes that your cake cook just gave you. And it became a dream of mine to make best breakfast food in the state of Wisconsin. And there is no statistical proof that I did not achieve that at my peak. But again, that's for another chapter. My first summer at Mr. Pancake is that day in a nutshell. Chaos, madness, unexpected absences, falling in love. All of that happened that summer, my first summer at Mr. Pancake when I was a busser. And I'm excited to share more of those stories with you on Sunday Stories. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you next Monday.